Hi there, everybody. Welcome to your 4 to 5. Eric, Chad, and Lauren with you today.
I feel like it's been a while since the three of us were
Yes.
back on this stage.
Because he was out there having all the fun at Wyndham.
Yes.
I was at Wyndham World last week for 3 days, yes.
And now we are kind of decompressing from Wyndham Week,
Back
right?
to reality.
Oh yeah, hope you're back to reality too. Thanks for watching us on air, online, Fire Stick, Roku, and the News 2 app.
Well, we got lots to talk about today. Topping off your 4 to 5 roundup today, a woman accused of killing her husband appeared in court today. Heather Almond is charged with first-degree murder in the death of Seagrove firefighter M.J. Almond. Originally, a Randolph County judge said Heather Almond could face the death penalty, but today we learned that she will not. Police found M.J. Almond dead in his home back in June. They say Heather Almond claimed he died by suicide. However, investigators arrested and charged her with murder a few days later. Right now, Heather Almond remains in jail without bond. The FBI identified the man shot and killed by a Clemens police officer. Investigators say several departments were serving a warrant on a homicide case when Alexander Keontae Weah was shot and killed Friday morning. A Greensboro police officer was also injured during the shooting, but is expected to be okay. The FBI says the investigation will continue and a DA will determine if criminal charges will be filed.
There was a small earthquake in Archdale last night. The U.S. Geological Survey says a 2.0 magnitude earthquake hit the area around 8:30 p.m. The quake's center was about 4 miles deep. It wasn't very strong, but experts say some people might have felt light shaking. We have heard that on social media too. Nobody's reported any damage. Randolph County has confirmed its first case of monkeypox. Health leaders say the person is isolating at home. Because of privacy laws, we don't know much about the patient. It is the third confirmed case in our area. Meantime, the Guilford County Health Department says it's giving out a limited supply of vaccines it received last week. It's asking for patience as it schedules appointments for people trying to get a shot. If you have been or you feel like you have been exposed to someone with monkeypox, call to make an appointment.
You know, we're looking at lower, or we'll say reduced, shower and thunderstorm chances this afternoon. Still going to see a couple of these. It's really unsettled across the southeast, especially in the Carolinas. So just kind of hit or miss, but not a big widespread event. Temperatures, though, they are cooperating when it comes to, you know, if you get up into those low 90s, it's a good chance you'll get at least an isolated thunderstorm or two. We're on the periphery, right on the edge of this Bermuda high. We'll show you that in a sec. But 92 in Winston-Salem, 86 in Mount Airy, 89 Greensboro, Reedsville, 88. High Point, you sit at 89 degrees right now. I think we'll get down to about 71 tonight, kind of a repeat tomorrow with a 90-degree high, but an evening storm, yeah, run that risk, but tomorrow it's partly sunny, again just an isolated storm, and that high at 90 degrees, which by the way is just slightly above normal, just a couple 3 degrees. Across the region, you see a couple of showers popping up here and there. Probably the heaviest we've seen have been scattered all across Allegheny, Ashe, and Watauga counties. Looks like Surrey County had a little bit of a shower just to the west of 77, but that has broken apart a little bit. I want to show you the wide shot so you get the idea. It's just generally unsettled, and with high pressure off the coast, our winds coming in out of that southeast, you can see a lot of these showers. Looks like they're developing down south and then drifting back up to the north. We'll keep an eye on that. There's the culprit. That's the Bermuda high we're talking about. An isolated storm, as long as you're on the west side of that, is likely, and only a 20 to 30% chance though for tonight. That evening storm then mostly clear. Again, that overnight low 71, the high tomorrow at 90. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. Upper 80s, low 90s for the next couple of days. Rain chances go up a smidge. It's a 40% Tuesday, a 50% Wednesday, 60% Thursday. All of those are late day scattered showers and storms, but look at the cooler air coming in. 84 Thursday, and then dry, low humidity, 85. That's a beautiful weekend. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, even Monday, only a 20% chance and a cooler high of 84.
Right now, millions of kids are getting ready to go back to school as America's teacher shortage hits crisis levels. School officials across the country, they're scrambling to hire, including districts right here in the Triad.
Some districts are thinking creatively to create more teachers, like offering new dress codes or big sign-on bonuses. Despite the push, new studies show low recruitment and lower morale. A poll from the American Federation of Teachers found 40% of its members might leave the job in the next 2 years. 3/4 say they would not recommend their profession to others.
Experts also found specific classrooms are experiencing more hurdles than others. Children with special needs and bilingual students face a lack of resources for years, and this is ongoing staffing issues. Teachers in these programs are having an especially tougher time. Guilford County Schools hopes bonuses will boost recruitment in specific schools and programs. Route Now is offering a $10,000 bonus to teachers who sign a 2-year contract. Some teachers could get up to $20,000.
Winston-Salem Forsyth is offering a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Alamance Burlington says it's looking to fill vacancies in 37 schools, so it's offering $10,000 bonuses.
Well, I think all districts are battling this, not only across North Carolina, but across the country. The immediate need is to fill these positions. We're in a competitive market right now. Alamance sits between Guilford and Orange, and really a short commute to Durham and Wake, and we have to be creative.
As students prepare for the new school year, it's important to remember this year's federal school lunch changes. Right now, students will no longer automatically get for free lunch. Instead, families must qualify and fill out a form.
School meal programs have always had to work on very tight budgets, and they rely on those federal reimbursements to balance the books. They desperately need additional reimbursements right now to cover the costs that they're facing due to the pandemic and supply chain disruptions.
Guilford County Schools says all families should apply even if they don't think they qualify. Last month, the district announced all students who qualify for reduced meals will now get them for free. The new state budget includes money to cover the cost.
Back to school is an exciting and hectic time for families. Some kids can't wait to go back, while others are hesitant. Psychology expert Blanca Cobb is offering some advice to help families make a smooth transition. Blanca, what makes some kids nervous about seeing some of their friends again?
If some kids ended the school year on not so good terms with their friends, they might be a little anxious about seeing them again. When you have the summer break, you have some space and some separation, so they may not be thinking about those friends as much. But now that the school year is coming back into session, some anxiety can start creeping in.
And we know, as well as everybody else, you've been to school and sometimes you don't tell your parents everything, especially if you're dealing with problems with classmates. What should parents watch out for, to get a sense of something might be wrong?
Here are some signs to look for in your own student. See if they have any anxious or stress behaviors, if they complain of headaches or stomach aches, or they can't sleep, or they sleep too much, or if they're avoiding going to school or avoiding certain activities. And you start becoming a detective and start figuring out, okay, who are in these groups that your child is trying to avoid. That gives you some good insight as to what might be going on.
And how can parents help their kids cope with disagreements that they're having with their classmates?
You should tell your children they shouldn't automatically assume that there's going to be a problem when school starts. The great thing about summer break is that it is a break, it is a pause. And so what that means is it can also be a reset. There are going to be some kids who are going to forget about it, who thinks it's no big deal, or they could be waiting to see how your child responds. This is a great time to talk to your kids about being friendly, about being sociable, about engaging and talking to other kids. And if they notice something in in their friend's tone of voice or in their body language, that's a good time to say, okay, let's talk about how you might talk to them. And really the big thing is perspective taking. You want for your child to listen to what the other kid has to say and then problem solve from there.
As always, thank you for your expertise, Blanca. You can continue the conversation with her on her Facebook page. Just search Blanca Cobb, Body Language Expert.
Dig into it, Ben Briscoe here. The Inflation Reduction Act passed by the Senate yesterday offers a $7,500 tax credit if you want to buy a new electric vehicle that was assembled in North America. You can also get $4,000 off a used electric vehicle. That money is a tax credit paid to the manufacturer, so it comes right off the cost of the car when you buy it. So, for the first time, a lot of people might be really considering buying an electric vehicle. We're going to dig into everything you need to know before you go for a test drive. That's coming up at 5:30.
And we have some sad news in the entertainment world today. So according to her Facebook page, actress and singer Olivia Newton-John passed away today. The family said she died earlier this morning, surrounded by family and friends. They said, quote, "Olivia has been a symbol of triumphs and hope for over 30 years, sharing her journey with breast cancer. Her healing inspiration and pioneering experience with plant medicine continues with the Olivia Newton-John Foundation Fund, dedicated to researching plant medicine and cancer. The family asked in lieu of flowers that donations be made to the Olivia Newton-John Foundation. She was 73 years old.
Every now and then you come across a random fact or a did you know trivia question that sticks with you. Well, Eric found some things he says are useless trivia, but you'll certainly be fun at parties.
You may not know it, but we're all always moving. Yes, I'm talking about all the countries, the continents, because of something called plate tectonics. Google that and find out what it is. But did you know Hawaii is drifting toward Alaska at the rate of a little less than 3 inches per year? So I did some math. There are 3,072 miles between Hawaii and Alaska. There are 63,360 inches in every mile. That's a total of 194,641,920 inches. So if you do the math of 3 inches a year, that means in 64,880,640 years, the two will collide. We're not going to see that. Have you ever noticed when you go in a theater, what color do you see the most? Look around here at the Tanger Center. Red. Red seats, red floors, it's everywhere. So basically, red is the first color the human eye loses as the lights start to diminish. That way, you're not really paying attention to everything around you. Your eye is drawn toward the stage and the screen. Yeah, and it's getting dark, show's starting, I gotta go. Cockroaches. Oh. Go away. Did you know, everybody talks about they can survive a nuclear blast. But did you know a cockroach can live for up to a week without its head? Ridiculous, right? We use our head, of course, to breathe, right? Mouth and nose. Cockroach actually breathes with little holes along the side of its body. So after a week, it doesn't die from not being able to breathe. It actually dies from thirst. It can't drink water without its head. And finally, there's this. You've seen these before, Best By dates. But did you know that doesn't mean that after that date, you can't eat it? It expires. Not for all foods. And one food that never expires that I didn't know was on that list is honey. Did you know that scientists say honey is made up of 17% water. Now that sounded like a lot to me, but according to the scientists that I read about, they said that's really not enough to cause bacterial growth. As a matter of fact, honey actually dehydrates bacteria. So really, it is its own protection system, and a tasty one at that. Now you know.
All right, I'm ready for Jeopardy.
You want to buzz in?
Yeah.
That'd be the potpourri category, I bet, right? A lot of good stuff in there, and I have thrown honey out many a times because it starts to look funky.
It does. I feel like it starts to look crusty inside of
so-
the bottle, and then sometimes I can't even squeeze it out
Right.
anymore.
So I
just
left
toss
something
it.
out in that. I'm really glad you brought that up because I left that out by mistake. And I remember telling Manning, our photographer, oh, I left it out. He goes, say it on set. It crystallizes,
Okay.
but it's not bad. And so they said if you actually heat it a little bit, it usually gets back to the liquid state again. So you can eat it, but it's not bad for you.
So why is there an expiration date on the bottle? Is it because of the packaging that it comes in?
No, it's because the companies say it's probably at its peak flavor. It may not spoil, but it's at its peak by that
So
date.
like Best Buy.
Best Buy, right. And then, so with that, it's 17% water. To me, that sounded like a lot, but apparently scientists say that's not enough to really support bacteria, and honey actually dehydrates bacteria naturally, so it's protecting itself. So it really never spoils.
I just learned so much today. I feel like you got to do this every week.
I think we will do it.
I wish the people at home could have seen Lauren's face when she said, wait, so the cockroach can live for a week after?
I know. I was like, does that mean it can still breed? Like, you might have thought that you killed it,
Right.
and it's still producing
No,
eggs
it's
everywhere.
because it can breathe out of its side, but it can't drink water without a mouth, so it actually dies of thirst, not of its head being cut off.
So you can lead a cockroach to water, but you can't make it drink.
Without a head.
Without
Interesting.
On that note, we'll send you to break. Think about that. Send me in some ideas if you have any other useless trivia. We'll be back. Chain. All right, let's talk about how hot and sticky it is out there, because we have seen a day where dew points are, you know, we shouldn't even say a day. It's been like this for almost a solid week, hasn't it? With these dew points between 69 and say 72, I mean, look at Martinsville at 74. The guide is at the top there. Anything over 70, that is tropical moisture, which is huge. That's very sticky. Even anything above 65, which pretty much is everybody in the viewing area, that is labeled as a sticky dew point, and we have that, and we'll keep that for a while. Don't worry, because by the time we get to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the forecast will be music to your ears. It's going to be a good one. Lower humidity and clearer skies, cooler temperatures too. It looks good. Hour by hour heading into the evening, we'll break the 70s probably by 8:30 or 9 o'clock tonight, go to 79 degrees. Overnight lows should be in the lower 70s. Across the region now, let's go back up north and west. For the most part, we've seen a couple of scattered showers, and in our mountain and foothill communities, some of those are kicking up a little bit of dust there around Sparta. So if you're in Allegheny County or Asher, Watauga, you'll see some of that. Some also in Forsyth County right now. They're just not all that strong or widespread, but everybody could see a scattered shower or two. There's that high pressure off the coast. That's the culprit, because as it sits there, it just gives us an isolated late day storm chance pretty much every day. Now, as that front you see on the left side of your screen, as that starts to move our way, we'll see our rain chances go on the increase. So tonight it's just an isolated evening storm or two, and a 7-day forecast looks like this. 90 degrees for tomorrow, 40% chance of late day storms or showers. It's a 50% Wednesday and a 60% Thursday. Look at that weekend though. Partly cloudy to mostly sunny, lower humidity, mid 80s, beautiful weekend. Even nice on Monday, and we'll slip in a 20% chance of a shower that afternoon.
This Halloween may bring more tricks than treats. Hershey, one of the world's largest chocolate makers, is warning of a shortage of Reese's peanut butter cups, Kit Kats, and other sweets this Halloween. The company says production decisions in the spring and supply chain issues from the war in Ukraine mean there might not be enough candy to go around this Halloween. Of course, folks who want to give out candy this holiday will have other choices in the candy aisle with rivals such as Mars, the maker of M&M and other candies. So Halloween, we still have about 2 months away for it, but I asked you on my Facebook page, when do you start shopping for the fall holiday? Kathy says now, so ready for fall and Halloween. Arnold wrote about 1 week before the date, candy for the children. Morgan, mid-September, Mark the day after. And then Brittany says, I personally don't celebrate Halloween. There were quite a few people who wrote that on my Facebook page as well.
I love Halloween, always did as a kid, and my kids just can't get enough of it. But we don't go all out to decorate our house. I told you we have this one fancy decorate, but it's like the same one thing every year. But some of my neighbors are all about it.
Yeah. My family wasn't too big on trick-or-treating. Like, we went half the time, or the other part of the time we would go to church for what they call Hallelujah night. So as far as like costumes, I never was too big on them. So now as an adult, I'll probably put something together at home, or I'm one of those people last minute at Party City trying to grab whatever cat ears are left. That's what I did
That's
last
me
year.
too.
I wore this dress actually with some black ears.
I just need to go back to the Reese's.
Serious, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, so here's
Horrible.
my opinion. Reese's has a monopoly on the market for peanut butter cups, in my opinion, and so somebody else has got to get in the game.
So like,
True.
like an off
So that
brand.
there's,
Yep.
surely there's an off-brand, and we don't know because nobody buys it. But I mean, Reese's or nothing, you know.
But then you have the other brands that make Butterfinger and
love
some of the other
Butterfingers.
chocolate peanut buttery like candies. So I guess they're just saying buy it now because in October it might not be.
It's going to be like the toilet paper issue
Yeah.
all over again.
Everyone's getting. They're going to limit it to one bag per customer.
You know how kids are brutally honest. What was the one candy bar that if you got, you'd be like, oh.
Almond Joy. And the thing is, I actually
Quick.
like coconuts. But
I
I
love
don't
almond
like it
Really?
in candy flavor. I do not like almond joys.
I
I
like
always
that.
felt like it was a more seasoned candy, like for my grandparents. Or
Mine was
something.
Mr. Goodbar. I never liked
really?
or dark chocolate. I don't like really dark chocolate.
I've grown to like dark chocolate as an adult.
Maybe like the 100 grand or
Oh, I
some of
like
like the old timey
those.
like candies too, like Werther's Original.
Heath.
Oh, I love them.
I like the Heath bars. What about you guys?
Yes, I
like-
do like
yeah.
it.
Okay.
That's toffee, isn't it?
Yeah, it's toffee.
I like that.
And if there was an apple in there.
Yeah, right.
Oh
Kick it to
no!
the curb.
I'd put that
Or
on
with
the
people
side.
who give out baked goods, sometimes I'm that person like, I don't know you, I don't know what's going on in your house, so no thank you.
Baked goods. That's when kids go and they walk off.
Oh, man.
Yeah, right.
Thanks a lot.
We're
Don't
coming
go to
back.
that house.
We'll be right back. Kids are so honest. Welcome back to your 4 to 5. It's halftime right now. Eric Chilton here with Chad Silver, Lauren Coleman. Lots ahead for us.
Hey, everybody.
How was Margaritaville? Tell us about it on Friday. You were out there.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
So, I tried to wear like a flowery type print, shirt, because I said if I'm going to be there, I'm going to do the thing. All my friends that work at Wyndham were giving me such a hard time about
Really?
the shirt. Oh yeah, which I love it. It's one of my favorite shirts. But they were like, "What'd you get a free bowl of soup with that shirt?" I mean, they were saying everything.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch the playback. I
Right.
didn't
It was
see
just a pink and white flowery shirt. That's
Yeah.
all. But no, it was a blast, and that band was so good. They were out of Atlanta, and they were phenomenal. Davin McCoy, and really good. It's fun. Lots of fun.
Well, we're glad to have you back in the
Yes.
studio. Glad to have you back as well. Look at us all together here. Thanks for watching on air, online, Fire Stick, Roku, and the News 2 app.
All right, let's talk about our forecast. And as we head into the next few days, everybody wants to talk about rain chances, or will we see any rain? So we're a little bit on the dry side today. We will probably see that change, though, over the next couple of days, because we're looking at, in some cases, we could see a 40 to 60% chance of showers, but that's closer to maybe midweek. And then once we get to the weekend, you will love what you see. 89 degrees in the Triad right now, at least at the airport, where our official records are kept in Greensboro. 91 for Charlotte and Greenville, 85 in Asheville. Boone has 77, and that's, of course, we expect the mountains to be cooler, but that's a good bit cooler because they've actually seen a little rain in our higher elevations. Not as much over our area, but 95 for Raleigh and Fayetteville, too. When you look at what we'll see as far as rain is concerned, it's so slight. I mean, it's a 20 to 30% chance. That's really not all that much. Usually 30 to 40 is more normal for us this time of the year. So we'll just say that you could see an isolated shower tonight, dropping to the low 80s by 7 p.m. I think by about 9 o'clock tonight, we'll get into the 70s, 79 degrees then. Think the lowest we'll go, though, will be lower 70s. Across the area, a couple of showers there in the southwestern parts of Forsyth County and then into the mountain and foothill communities. But other than that, we're not seeing a whole lot, with the heaviest activity now really in Allegheny, Ash, and Watauga, and headed up toward the Galax area. We'll see some of that develop right along I-77 north of Mount Airy. Once you get over the state line into southern Virginia, you'll see that. Yeah, generally unsettled across the entire southeast. That's because of that Bermuda high that sits off the coast. Winds coming in out of the southwest around that. What does that mean? That means that it keeps that heat and humidity in, and our 7-day forecast looks like this. Let's go 90 tomorrow, kind of a repeat of today, although we're going to see rain chances going up, 40% chance for Tuesday. It's a 50-50 shot on Wednesday and 60% Thursday. Wednesday, Thursday, look for more widely scattered late day showers and storms, but cooler weather moving in. For the weekend, drier, cooler, rain chances out, and high temperatures only in the mid-80s. So check this out. In case you didn't know, there was an earthquake that happened around Archdale. It was a magnitude of 2.0, and it happened in Archdale around 8:24 p.m. last night. So 2 people have reported this, and they said that they felt the earthquake only in like a 1-block radius, so it was kind of low on the Richter scale there. The earthquake was 6 kilometers deep into the earth, which I think if we were doing the math would be a little more than 3 miles. It's kind of amazing that far down and we still feel it up here. But the USGS, the United States Geological Survey, estimates that there could have been some light shaking, but they said little to no damage across the area. So everybody was wondering about that. Obviously, it doesn't. Somebody sent me an email and said, does this affect our forecast? No, not at all. It's totally separate from that. It's seismology, not meteorology. But it is something that we all, when we hear about this, everybody's like, whoa, does that happen that often here? Interesting fact, though, we actually have a small fault line under our part of the world. It's very small. It's not like the San Andreas Fault. It's tiny. So what we get is usually just an isolated shower or two.
Interesting.
Have you all ever experienced an earthquake before?
Not
No.
California, but I did, and Mount Airy had one when I was a kid once, and all I felt was it felt like the house went side to side like 2 times, and that was it.
I felt one once when I was in college. It was my second year at UVA, so this was like 2011, and I was at my apartment with one of my friends, and out of nowhere, everything started shaking. We just grabbed each other and screamed, and it was very quick, but we were like, was it construction? What was that? And it actually ended up being an earthquake.
Did you feel more like somebody was shaking you, or did you
It felt,
feel
no, I saw my cabinets moving,
Really?
my TV was shaking, but it was very quick. It probably lasted 6 seconds, but it was very scary because I never experienced anything like
mine
that.
wasn't that
and then
strong.
our cell phones weren't working for several hours. People's parents were trying to call them. So it was a very interesting situation.
Well, Charlottesville is kind of in the mountainous areas anyway, right on the edge of it at least, and so yeah, that's interesting. So never?
Never. And you know, the one time, I think it was a couple of years ago, maybe not even that long, there were some people in Greensboro who felt one. I don't know if it was the Sparta earthquake or something a little bit closer, but it was like the time of the day when I was sleeping, so I missed it.
And
Leave it
nothing
to me.
wakes
I
Chad
was
up.
right. Yeah, I was.
And
I
you
was
sleep very peacefully.
Yes, I do. I don't think I would have felt it, but yeah. So unfortunately.
You could say that you slept through an earthquake. Like that's
a pretty big deal. That's a good icebreaker.
All right.
I'm Chad, and I slept through an earthquake.
We'll work on that.
I
one.
survived.
Yeah, right.
Chad Silver.
All right, let's move on to the 4 to 5 roundup now. First up today, a Triad woman accused of killing her husband will not face the death penalty. Today, a judge determined Heather Alman won't face a capital murder charge. She is still charged with first-degree murder, but it does not carry the possibility of the death penalty. She's accused of killing her husband, MJ Alman, a Seagrove firefighter. Police found him dead in his home in June. They say she claimed he died by suicide, but investigators arrested and charged her with murder a few days later. She is in jail without bond. The father and son who are responsible for the death of Ahmaud Arbery got a second life sentence today. Travis and Greg McMichael were previously sentenced to life without parole for Arbery's murder. This latest sentence was in federal court for a hate crime trial. The McMichaels armed themselves with guns, chased Arbery after he ran past their home in 2020. William Roddy Bryan, who joined the pursuit and recorded the shooting, was sentenced to 35 years in prison just a couple of minutes ago. We're hearing from a relative of the victims in a boat crash on High Rock Lake on Saturday.
To the first responders that were actually just civilians out there, we are so grateful to them for, just jumping in and doing whatever needed to be done to save them. And luckily, or blessedly, it turned out better than what it could have been, for sure.
3 people were hurt when a bass boat left a no-wake zone, sped up, and hit a pontoon boat. Witnesses quickly jumped in to help. The injuries range from cuts and bruises to a broken vertebrae, but all are expected to be okay.
3 rabid foxes bit 3 people in Randolph County last month. That's according to public health officials. Officials say the foxes were found in the areas of Fernwood Drive, Creamer Drive, and West White Drive in Archdale in July. The foxes tested positive for rabies and were killed. Officials say those bitten are receiving post-exposure vaccines. Further information about those bitten wasn't released for privacy reasons. Park rangers lifted temporary restrictions banning dogs, park trails at National Military Park in Greensboro. Park officials say they enacted the restrictions earlier this year because some pet owners weren't cleaning up dog poop. New trash cans and signs are now in place along the interior trails. Officials say during the restrictions, they saw a big decrease in the amount of pet waste.
Right now, we are helping students and teachers start the school year with our Tools for School drive. It kicked off today and runs through September 5th. For 25 years, we've collected supplies for students heading back to school. You can put supplies in donation boxes at Walmart stores. We'll also have a one-day supply drive at the Walmart on Battleground Avenue on August 24th. The city of Greensboro is boosting school supply levels by allowing you to pay off your parking tickets with donations. Here's how it works. Buy school supplies for at least the amount of your parking fine and keep the receipt. Then bring the donation to the Greensboro parking office within 30 days of getting that ticket. It's important to note this does not apply if you got a ticket for parking in a handicapped space. Ahead of the return to school, we want to know what's on your mind. We've got a back-to-school parent survey on our website right now. Share any concerns you might have, like COVID, school safety, virtual learning, or mental health. To take the survey, just text the word SURVEY to 336-379-5775, and we will respond with a link. We'll use the information to address your biggest questions ahead of the new school year.
Developing now, the Democrat-controlled Senate has delivered President Biden a major legislative win, a multi-billion-dollar spending bill focused on health care and climate change. Here's how and when it could impact you.
President Biden celebrated a major legislative win after Democrats' sweeping climate, health care, and tax bill passed the U.S. Senate.
A whole range of things that are really game changers for ordinary folks.
Vice President Harris delivered the tie-breaking vote. It followed months of negotiations and a marathon weekend session.
The bill, as amended, is passed.
Democrats emerge exuberant.
When I look back at my service in the Senate, I'll think about this legislation as one of the most consequential things that I had the chance to work on.
Republicans exasperated.
The bill's title shows you what it is. It's an Inflation Increase Act.
The Inflation Reduction Act invests nearly $370 billion in climate and energy investments. It also allows Medicare to negotiate high-cost prescription drugs. The bill is estimated to lower the deficit by $300 billion, paid for with new tax provisions including a 15% minimum tax on large companies and increased IRS enforcement.
They're going to propose hiring 87,000 new IRS agents, and they promise you this is only going to go after the rich. You should not believe that.
The Senate shutdown comes just 3 months before the midterm elections.
Since this could take a while to implement, when will people see and feel the impacts?
Some of the things they'll find quite quickly, and some of the things will take a longer time.
The legislation now heads to the U.S. House with a vote expected on Friday.
Dig into it's Ben Briscoe here. New tax credits in that legislation aim to bring the cost of some electric vehicles down to under 25 grand, meaning you might actually start thinking about buying one to save on gas. But how much would you really save? We're going to dig into the numbers and look at repair and maintenance costs for electric vehicles. That's coming up at 5:45.
Just a few more days until Panthers fans will fill Bank of America Stadium, cheering on as a new season gets ready to get underway. Panthers Fan Fest is this Thursday night at 7 p.m. Tickets are on sale right now and cost $5. The annual events give fans a chance to watch the team practice, catch performances from the Top Cats, and see a firework and laser show in that night. WFY News 2 is proud to be your official home at the Carolina Panthers and will air Fan Fest on our air this week. As a result, Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy will air overnight, so set your DVRs. Wheel of Fortune at 2:38 a.m. Friday morning and Jeopardy right after at 3:08. We'll be right back.
Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. Can you hear me? Hello, hello.
Grab. There's a number on your screen right now that is a lifeline and new for expecting people who are experiencing mental health challenges. The Maternal Mental Health Hotline launched nationwide in May. It provides 24/7 free and confidential support.
We're going to keep this number at the bottom of your screen for the next few minutes, enough time for you to snap a picture or write it down. You might be thinking you don't need this number because it doesn't apply to you, but chances are it does, and here's how. 1 in 9 expectant mothers have postpartum depression or PPD. 1 in 9. These symptoms include experiencing feelings of hopelessness or feeling inadequate or unequipped to take care of their children.
It is a serious condition that can last more than a year called postpartum or PPD. Laura Shelton, a perinatal health nurse educator at Navant Health, explains when the baby blues is considered PPD.
Mood swings, crying spells, anxiety, difficulty sleeping. And then if those symptoms continue past that, about that 2-week mark, and get worse, we're looking at postpartum depression.
So these risk factors can lead to PPD as well. Caring for multiples or a baby who needs special care. Trouble breastfeeding, a difficult delivery, or lack of support can increase your risk.
Shelton also says one of the best ways to tackle PPD is by talking through your feelings. Navant Health has a free online postpartum support group that's open to any new parent looking to connect, discuss, or share their experiences and their feelings.
They meet other parents. They can troubleshoot, feeding issues or sleep issues, or, relationship or support issues. And that group really connects parents going through the same stage as you. And then when you have a happy parent, you have a happier baby.
So we mentioned earlier that 1 in 9 pregnant mothers experience postpartum depression or the baby blues. While I haven't had any children yet, I do know of women that have dealt with postpartum depression, and it's important for them to know that they are not alone.
People are talking about it more. My goal is to really decrease that stigma that comes along with mental health, help as many new parents navigate the beginning of their parenting journey. I had postpartum depression with both of my kids and didn't speak up, and I really wish that I had.
Motherhood is something that I believe you don't really know what it's like until you go through it. And so to have resources, to know that this is available in the future for either two of us, if that happens to be in our life, is really important for anyone. So as we said, write down the information because you never know what you may need until you go through it.
And as you're going through something like that, it's important to know your body and know yourself. Do I feel different? Am I losing interest in certain things? And as a support system, whether you're a family member or a spouse, to check on whoever is pregnant or just had a baby and see if anything is different and let them know there are resources out there for you.
And mental health is something that we can always be talking about, whether you're having a child or not. It's also really important to seek out resources on your everyday. We may be going through something now, and it's important that we seek out therapy or we seek out resources, doctors or folks who can help us and guide us through life, because whether you're a mother or not, we're all dealing with something.
Absolutely.
And we all need help.
And it's great that we're continuing to talk about things like this and have conversations and say it's okay. It's okay if you're not feeling your best. It's okay if you're not feeling sad. It is a medical, situation. It's not make-believe. So like you said, take down that number so you can have this as a resource.
Yeah, some days it rains, some days it's sunny. And so some days you may not be your best and some days you may feel joy. So when you're not feeling your best, call on the number and seek out help.
I love that. We'll be right back.
In case you didn't know, today is National Dollar Day, and it got us thinking here. Dollar doesn't buy as much as it used to, but what can you remember that cost $1 back in the day? So I asked you on Facebook, tell me what you remember that cost $1, and Mary said, a small bag of chips, 2 big cookies, a candy bar, and a bottle of pop at my Papa's store in the mid-60s. And she said I got change back for the bubblegum machine. Goodness. Wendy Medlin said a movie ticket. How about that? Patricia Collins said 7 gallons of gas. She remembers when gas was 14 cents a gallon. Phyllis said 20-ounce Pepsi. Carlton says, I remember getting 2 burgers and fries at McDonald's for $1. Do you remember the first thing you said to me, Lauren, when we talked about this in the newsroom?
3 cookies from Subway for $1.
That's the first comment I got was yours.
Yeah.
That said 3 cookies.
Really? I don't remember things that, like, specific things.
I got a good one for you. Everything at Dollar Tree was $1 last year.
Oh, well, last year.
Last year.
Yes.
Is it? I don't think a dollar store is truly a dollar store
Not anymore. It's the $1.25 store now.
$1.25 tree. It doesn't have the same ring to it.
$1.25 tree. I don't remember specifics, but I mean, I can remember when gas was like $2 a gallon. I can remember that. Maybe a little less than that. I don't remember $1.
My mind went to food for everything. So the $3
meals.
3 cookies for $1 at Subway. Then you could get 2 hash browns for $1 at McDonald's.
Yes, I do
You could get 2 apple pies for $1 at McDonald's, and you could get a big sweet tea for $1 at McDonald's.
I love that you have all like add-ons to meals, like extra add-ons. Like I want a Happy Meal, but I also want 2 hash browns for $1.
I think that was called the dollar value meal.
Yes,
is what it was called.
but now it doesn't exist anymore.
They don't do that
No.
anymore.
So one thing, right when you said that, it's not $1, but I remember we would go to the gas station when I was a kid, and there would be like a little container of those little like
Tootsie Rolls, but that are fruit flavored.
Yeah, I remember Fruities, I think they're called.
Yeah, I love
And they were a
those.
penny a piece, so I'd go in there with $1 and count out 100
You
of
would
those
not.
suckers. Yes. I wouldn't get to eat them all right away, but I was really excited because, I mean, those are, for someone who didn't like chocolate growing up, these were perfect because it was like the fruit version of a Tootsie Roll.
I love those though.
You all remember when
Maybe
you
not
could go
that
to
many.
Walmart and get a soda for 25 cents
Yes.
from the vending machines?
do
I
remember
always
that.
look forward to that as a kid.
A lot of vending machines, you can't even put $1 in anymore.
Yeah, it's
to-
like
to
Apple
get
Pay now.
But it's a can. You can get a can
Right.
for $1.
Like our vending machines that never work in the break room, no matter what you put in there. I'm angry.
Fired.
Angry. All right, let's talk about our forecast. You've heard me complain about that so many times. I want my Diet Mountain Dew. So I did my 2 cents on it, for goodness sake. That's how bad. Chad said I want it for free. All right, 71 degrees for the overnight low tonight. That means that's what we'll see tomorrow morning. 87 by midday with a high temperature of 90. Late day showers and thunderstorms are possible tomorrow, but our rain chances overall are going to be a little bit on the low side. Once we get into, let's say, Wednesday, Thursday, then we're going up to 50 and 60% chance of showers. Most of the rain we see right now, 2 locations. One here in Forsyth County, it's in the southwestern parts here, closer to, say, the Clemens area, and it's just kind of sitting there. So you'll see some heavier rains around Clemens and a little bit of light rain in the Louisville region. Mountain and foothill communities also seeing a little bit of rain, but you see how unstable it is really all across the southeast. Bermuda High off the coast just constantly pumping in that heat and humidity from the south. That cold front's getting closer, and that's why we call for the rain chances to go on the increase. 50 to 60% chance for your Wednesday, Thursday. This weekend, low humidities in mid-80s.
Oh, it flew by.
That's what I said. I was like, this was very fast again today.
For a Monday, that's pretty good because we struggled with content today. The Guilford County Health.
Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. 1 2 3 4 5 6.
Hi there, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina.
Check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12.
Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check 1 2 1 2 3.
Yeah, I can hear you. The sheriff says the money to purchase the rifles and accessories was donated by community members.
Right now, the majority of people in North Carolina are having their voices silenced. They're being ignored about something important, and that's not right. Here's what's going on. There are more unaffiliated voters than Democrats or Republicans or Libertarians. But unaffiliated voters are not allowed on the State Board of Elections. State law forbids it, saying all the board members must be from the two biggest political parties. That means unaffiliated voters have no say on what kind of voting machines are used, who can or can't be on the ballot, and who's right or wrong when election results are challenged, like when the Guilford County school bonds were just challenged. It's only Republicans and Democrats that get to weigh in on these important issues. It's worth pointing out the law was not intentionally set up to keep unaffiliated voters out. Our law is just outdated. So many folks are tired of the partisan gridlock and want to go their own way. That's especially true of younger voters, where 47% of them are unaffiliated. Times are changing, and our law about who can serve on the Board of Elections should too. That's my 2 cents. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
A Triad community enjoying its Sunday evening got a shakeup this weekend. Archdale residents reported hearing a loud boom or feeling a shake after a small earthquake rattled the ground.
At WFMY News 2's Jenna Krasina met several people who felt it.
Yeah, Chad and Lauren, it was a small earthquake.